on.
Oh, this should be a very quick Around the Hardwood, to be honest.
Oh, you changed the graphic again. Okay.
Man, I just picked the first one I saw.
Oh, okay.
It's still the same layer, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, the font's different. Okay.
yeah.
Huh. You said this should be a quick one,
Yep.
and why are you saying it should be a quick one, sir?
Because if you notice how I put it, how I sent it to you in the chat, you would
I
notice I did
I did.
exactly the exact same thing.
I know. I did notice that. I did notice that. Well, as you all know, the WNBA, they are in a collective bargaining agreement negotiation with the WNBA owners. Well, the proposal as of late, the WNBA's proposal, basically increases the max salary base to 1 million. Now, the latest proposal to the National Basketball Association for the women, they include a maximum salary in 2026 featuring a guaranteed $1 million on the base, with projected revenue sharing pushing totals and earnings for max players to more than a 1.2 million. This is sources that were told on ESPN today. Under the proposal, sources told ESPN the average player's salary next year would be projected to exceed $500,000, and the minimum player salary would be projected to exceed $225,000. The salary cap would increase to $5 million in 2026 and would be set in each subsequent year based on revenue growth. This is what the sources have said. Now, it is unclear what the players think of the latest proposal from the league, but an agreement does not appear imminent. Really? What a shock. Last Sunday night, both sides agreed to an extension of the current CBA, and that runs through January the 9th. The union proposed the nearly 6-week extension, and the league agreed to it after initially asking for a 21-day extension. The new numbers reflect incremental increases for the league's last proposal that was supported by the Associated Press, confirmed by ESPN. This was back on November the 18th. More than 1.1 million in total compensation, a base salary plus a revenue share component for players at the max, an average compensation of more than $460,000, and players at the minimum earning more than $220,000. Now, in the league proposal that was submitted on November 23rd, it first included a max base salary over 1 million. This is what sources told ESPN. All right, before I go onward, your thoughts so far?
Gotta love those WNBA owners.
Oh man, that's a bit harsh. I don't disagree with that. And you call me evil. You laughing at them, but calling me evil.
I just laugh. You go deeper.
Oh, I go deeper. Okay. Well, the WNBPA, which of course is the labor union for the women's NBA, they have been pushing for a system in which the salary cap and thus player salaries are more directly tied to the growth of the business, such as how it is in the NBA, where the salary cap is directly determined by the BRI, or the basketball related income. Now, both sides came to the new extension a bit longer than their last one of 30 days, agreed to the end of October, hoping that it would provide a real runway to make meaningful progress toward a new deal and ideally even get one done before the current collective bargaining agreement period ends on January 9th. But sources also say, and they propose an earlier start to camp, but no team housing. That's really interesting. Along with significant salary increases and a new compensation system, the WNBA also is proposing to its players amid CBA talks an earlier start date for training camps and cutting team housing. This is what sources confirmed to ESPN this past Tuesday. WNBA training camps typically start in later April, the best time of the year, all around the world, no matter what you're doing. Work, Recreation, sports, not sports. Late April, the best time of the year. I'm sorry. But the league has proposed moving them up to
Okay, April baby.
bookmark for a second. Look, you sucker, I did not ask for a comment from you. I was trying to be polite, but you coming at me sideways. I'm gonna knock your head off your body if you keep
You
doing it like this.
you the one sitting here. You the one sitting here promoting April in the month of December. So who actually doing what?
All right, April baby. I did not ask for your comment.
Didn't have to.
I know, but I still didn't ask for it. But I still stand by what I said. Best time of the year is late April. All around the world.
No, that was last month. But go ahead.
That's a lie.
Your favorite holiday is in that month.
Well, yeah, my favorite holidays are that month too, but still. Yeah, my favorite holiday is in November. But still, the best time of the year is late
Enough
April.
said.
But the best time of the year, even with the favorite holiday, is late April, as I was saying. But the but the league has proposed moving them up to as early as mid-March, like around St. Patrick's Day, a change that would expand the season's footprint, but also would bring about potential scheduling conflicts for players. And I can see how that would be disastrous. The WNBA season currently runs from May to October with a record 44 game season, and it was held back in last year. In the current agreement, the training camp season cannot start earlier than April the 1st or more than 30 days before the first day of the regular season. Now, it is unclear whether the league is suggesting the regular season would start under its latest proposal. WNBA drafts in recent years have held in mid April, which I know is the time that people love the least around the United States. Understandable. You want to smack Uncle Sam up the. I'm sorry. Following the conclusion of the NCAA tournament, with a few weeks in between for incoming rookies to join their new teams. An earlier start date could also impact non-rookies. Several overseas leagues still compete into April in Project B, a new league set to launch in the fall of next year that has already signed several WB players, and it's supposed to run through then as well. You also have the 3-on-3 league that started by Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, called Unrivaled. It concludes the first week of March. A set of rules ratified in the current CBA call for prioritization. It does not allow WNBA players to be late to training camp due to overseas commitments. Now, under the current agreement, players are either provided team housing or a monthly stipend to help cover costs with housing, with the amount depending on the market. The league potentially cutting team housing in the new CBA drew criticism from Brianna Turner the Indiana Fever forward, who, as a part of the series of social media posts, said, quote, housing should be a priority, not just to maintain the best on-court product, but also in terms of player safety. Close quote. Now, Turner is a member of the WNBPA Executive Committee. The league and the Women's National Basketball Association Players Association are in ongoing CBA negotiations, with the sides agreeing ahead of time for a deadline of Sunday night to extend those talks through January the 9th. And again, the best time of the year worldwide is late April. Your thoughts about the WNBA proposing to have the camp start earlier?
What more ways do y'all want to screw this fantastic rise of the WNBA more? How much more do you want to screw it up? That's how much more.
I'm saying these fools are greedy. Greedy.
A 1 million base salary, huh? 1 million.
Yeah.
And now you want to start camp early.
And you already know what's going to be. They're greasing the wheel for the season to be more prolonged. Like, so we'll start camp earlier. Now we can actually extend this from like 44 to say maybe 60 games. That's where they're gonna be headed next.
What? If y'all objective, and I'm gonna say this out loud, since none of y'all have the balls to say it out loud your darn self.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get rid of on rivalry? You want Project B to not get off the ground? You have to pay to play.
Oh no! Don't say that once. I don't think they heard you. I think we're dealing with some deaf people with the NBA ownership group. Please say that again.
Okay. If you want to rid of on rival, if you want to get rid of Project B, matter of fact, if you don't even want the players to go overseas to play in different leagues in basketball, you have to pay to play.
Because that's the reason why they are playing in these other leagues now, domestically and abroad. And who could blame them?
Stop being greedy, cough up the money, and you can get the product that you really want.
And paying these women pennies on a dollar, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Because normally Cole Johnson would actually take over this whole entire thing with this.
I
But I think it's just a good time for me to do this to say my piece.
Please, no.
Take as much time as you need. Because I'm trying to understand something here. Now, on one side, we agree with you. We can't do revenue sharing just yet. Can't do that just yet.
Yeah, the league isn't probable enough for a longer period of time.
No,
understandable.
Sorry, ladies, we love you, but we got to be objective as well.
Yeah,
revenue sharing, we ain't at that level. We're not at that level.
And to be clear, ladies, it took the NBA almost 40 years to get to that level too. So you actually ahead of schedule. There you go.
So we're not there yet. But to you owners of the WNBA, 1 million salary max. 1 million. If I remember correctly, how much was that TV deal that Adam Silver helped get the WNBA? And yes, I'm saying Adam Silver because he was the one who got the
deal. He was the one who negotiated. Let me see if I can think of the number. It was $2 billion.
You do realize 1 million is not even 1% of that.
1 million.
That's not even 1%.
1 million maybe is 5%, if 5% of that.
That's not even 1%. Because you know what 1% is for 2 billion? 2 million.
2 million.
You can't even not even see because when we first started this whole journey with the CBA thing, y'all was giving them less than 10% of the pie.
I still think it's ridiculous.
And now you're sitting here trying to give them less than 1% of the pie. How you get money going up, but the player salary goes down? And those of you who don't understand, yes, the amount is increasing, but look at the media deal itself. 2.76 billion, if I remember my numbers correctly. Which means NBC, ESPN, every single network that the NBA is on, the WNBA will be on. And the WNBA also got to keep Iron Television as well. So, at one point, it was 9.7% of the pie. The reason why me and Cole Johnson was going off back in the summer.
That is correct, which was still ridiculous.
Now we negotiating, and people will see, ooh, they're talking about giving them 1 million. That's not even 1% of the 2.76 billion million right there they just got. That's not even 1% of that. Y'all looking at the total numbers. Me and Cole Johnson, we look at percentage. What is that percentage of the entire thing that you're getting?
Mm-hmm.
And so do you think 9.7% from what they are getting right now is less than the 1% that the WNBA is trying to give the players with a $1 million base salary? I want y'all to think about that. Because no, you see, oh, look at they not only getting paid thousands no more, they getting paid millions. Well, that million is 1% of the media right there. You can give them at least 2 million. But I prefer 20. But there's still other things I got to get figured out and paid for and all that other stuff. So I won't push hard on the 20 million.
Not yet.
But you damn sure can give them at least 2 million. Go ahead, Cole.
At least show that in good faith you're saying to the players, we appreciate that you are actually making the product even more exciting. You're bringing more people into the stands, and it's to the point where now we're not playing in auditoriums anymore. We're actually playing in NBA arenas. At least show the women, yeah, you all are coming up. Do something in good faith that makes them say, yeah, it's good. Because to me, and I know I can speak for Playmaker on here when I say this, you can't tell me that A'ja Wilson, the greatest basketball player in the world from the women's standpoint, and one of the greatest basketball players, no matter the gender, in the world, is currently worth what, $250,000? You can't tell me that, because she's worth more than that. She's worth more than $1 million. And I'm saying in a year, not throughout the contract. She's worth more than that.
Much more than that.
She's worth a whole lot more than that. But you all are arguing, well, the league is not profitable yet, and I don't think you all are good enough to earn that much. No. The best player on your product deserves to have a contract for more than $1 million a year. And that's where I believe Playmaker and I are looking at it from this standpoint. If you're basically saying your best player from the the current CBA, because you're renegotiating it now, the Supermax is less than $250,000. Please get real. Come on now. You know that A'ja Wilson earned you a whole lot more than that. And let's keep it all the way funky. She isn't the cash cow of the league. But to me, she's one of the reasons why people like us tune into the product. There's a reason why you have more women tune into the product. There's a reason why more girls come to the product. She's one of them. The Fisa Collie is another. And whether you like her or not, Ancient Reese is another. Breonna Stewart is another. And I could go on. And not even mention Caitlin Clark. Come on now. You all have your heads stuck up your behinds, man. Come on now. You got to do much, much better than this. Much, much better than this. But hopefully you all will learn your lesson eventually. And should you need an extension beyond next month, I guess we shall see. But you want to actually extend or get earlier training camp. I want to see how well this factors in to the fact that you don't have a CBA, one that actually you could play with. And don't try to stretch it out to where you're like, well, we came to the table in good faith, but and we want to negotiate. We'll be willing to negotiate into the season. I know that's how you're thinking, owners. I know that's how you're thinking. We'll negotiate into the season and stretch it out to where the players will be playing at a CBA that they don't want, that you knew they didn't want, because they wore black shirts with white writing, talking to the fact that they were not getting paid the way they were supposed to at the All-Star game weekend. So you already know they ain't feeling the CBA. You already know that. But I guess, like Like my boys, ghetto boys used to say, I guess you don't hear me though. You don't hear Playmaker though. You most certainly are not hearing the women who actually earn your money. Oh, Lord. Look, from crapping on the WNBA owners because they're being as greedy as the NCAA, to an honor from the NCAA directed to one of the greatest WNBA
Oh
players
Lord.
of all time. Sue Bird, she walked onto the court at Gamble Pavilion on Sunday to a rousing ovation as she did during her 4 seasons as one of the best players at UConn women's history. The member of the top-ranked 2026 team stood on either side of the UConn legend as Bird stepped onto the court before a game against DePaul, this time without her famous UConn number 10 jersey. And why was that? Because Bird was joined by classmates Swin Cash, that's a name I haven't heard in a minute, and Rebecca Lobo as the only UConn women's basketball players to have their numbers hanging in the rafters. Sue, who was a member of the Naismith and Women's Basketball Hall of Fames, said, quote, "This is home. This is where it started. It's an incredible honor." Close quote. Along with that, of course, there's two men who had their numbers retired. That'd be Ray Allen and Richard Hamilton. Now, Bird was part of two national championship squads at UConn, and despite being limited to 8 games as a freshman because of knee injury, Bird finished her career with 1,378 points, 585 assists, and 240 steals. They were 114-4. I will say that record again. 114-4 with Bird in the lineup. 114-4. That means 4 losses in the 4 years she actually was attending the school. She was the first pick in the 2002 WNBA draft by the Seattle Storm and helped Seattle win not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 WNBA titles. She also was a part of 5 Olympic gold medal winning teams, winning 4 FIBA World Cups as well. Now, UConn head coach Gino Auriemma called Bird the greatest point guard ever in women's college basketball. Your thoughts, sir, on quite possibly, at worst, one of the greatest point guards in women's basketball history. I would dare say the best point guard that I think I've ever seen come from the women's game in history.
I have no disagreements whatsoever. Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, that team. It started with that team.
Mm-hmm.
It started with that team.
Yeah, the dynasty started with them, right? It did.
Of this, how boring they made women's college basketball.
Because they was routinely routing teams by 30, 40, and 50.
And to the point where Pat Summitt, the late great Pat Summitt, finally put a team together that can challenge UConn. But still, it was still boring because now you just had UConn in Tennessee. And then Stanford started getting their name thrown in there. And then Notre Dame did the unthinkable at one point in time. To the point where now everybody is like, God darn it, UConn, you would not dominate basketball, but still enough. Junior M is the reigning national defending champions.
And that just shows how good of a coach he is and how strong of a program they built.
And what I would expect more from Junior M and the UConn Huskies, they never changed their standard.
No.
They said, well, darn it, how about y'all do something about it? And now women's college basketball is exciting to watch.
Yep. It is, in large part because of Gino Auriemma and that UConn program. In large part because of them. Now, Bird came to UConn after playing for New York Girls High School powerhouse Christ the King with a class that included the aforementioned Cash, Asha Jones, Tamika Williams, and Kirsten Walters. Auriemma also said that it was a class that changed the way the Huskies played. Now, until then, they had only won 1 national championship. Now, what followed was UConn's ascension to winning now a record 12. It's great to see good people who are great in the sport actually rule it the way it's supposed to be ruled, play it the way it's supposed to be played, and it's great to see greats get their just due. Sue, congratulations! I'm glad that the program that launched that launched you in the national landscape of knowing you later on as being a part of the Storm and part of Team USA in many Olympiads. It's great that you're getting the honor that you did in the place that basically birthed what you were from the college game. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Sue. And unless I think there's something else, I believe that concludes Around the Hardwood.